Hi everyone, how you doing? Is all right? Sorry about that. A bit of a slight hiccup at us end the first stream and start on a new stream as well. I don't know why. To be fair, I couldn't link it up with the Mac, but we're up on YouTube now. And we're going to be what we're going to be doing for you is we're going to be chatting to 8 or 9 people. They already know that it's happening, and fingers crossed that it goes to plan and they pick up. But if not, we'll skip it and we'll move forward. Now, at the minute where I am. Just in my studio, I'm at the very back of the studio. I'm just going to quickly show you around as well before we begin chatting to everybody as well. So who's coming on tonight then? Right, so this is a pilot show. My idea was to do this is to get you a lot more involved. So I thought, right, I'll test it out live. I'll have a see how it goes. I'll get people who know the channel inside out, and then I guess we'll see how this progresses. And if it does go really well, what we'll do is we'll roll it out to use lot. So get yous and I'll ring yous in the future shows, etc., etc. So we've got 8 or 9. Rob, Johnny, Fordy, Mark, Will, Robert, Liam, Chris, both of those around the world, by the way. Those two are in Australia at the minute. And we've also got James as well, who's been on the fan cam. So it's familiar faces that you know. There is no Sharky, there is no Alicia. They declined to come on tonight for personal reasons. But I may as well show you. I'm trying to bloody see myself on this stream before so I can see your comments. Right, there we go. Right, so I'll just put my phone on silent so I can see what you're all saying and everything. Knock that down. Open up the chat. Right, okay. So I'll come back to you. What I'm going to be doing is when we, I'll show you around the studio in a second, but when we ring, first up is Rob. Rob, so get yourself ready. It'll be 5 minutes. When we spoke to Rob, and then we'll come back to the chat, see what you're saying, and then we'll move on to the next person as well. So I guess what I'll do is I might as well show you around the studio because some of you haven't seen it. It's probably, I would say, 3/4 done. Let me just unplug all of this crap. Right, let's show you. Right, so the first thing you're going to notice is the bright lights. So what I'm doing at the minute, right at the back. So if I move it away, if I show you that, that is where I am sitting at the present moment. Got all the tune stuff, and right, it's not what that is. That's the camera in it, and some extra tune stuff in the corner. If I move back here, obviously that's where the whiteboard is behind there as well. If I move a little bit closer, get out the way of the camera. You can see that was from the last game as well. And if I move across here, there's been some slight altercations, what I've been doing in the corner. That corner needs a little bit filled up at the minute. I do have the rest of that stick. I know the Scotchwood, the Blade Races. So I am filling that up at the moment. There's obviously old tickets on there as well. And if I spin around, that's the other settee doing theirs, well, the other sofa as well. If I move across to the door as well, so and you can see me in the mirror. So I'll be moving around the room, and this stream should be about an hour, maybe less, just depending how the phone calls get on as well. And like I said, the thing is for me, as I sit back down, I'll just plug all of this back in. The thing is for me is,
an opinion on that.
You should Alexa. Alexa's next to us, so she might pipe up the odd time. Alexa, what was the Newcastle score?
On Sunday, Newcastle United beat Manchester United 1-0 in a Premier League match. They'll play in the Premier League on the 24th of February at 3 p.m. away against Bournemouth.
Cheers for that. So Bournemouth on the 24th. Right. So I may as well dive straight into it. So what we're doing is we're going to be ringing them. So we'll be literally ringing now Rob, who has been on the fan cams. He's also a columnist as well. So Rob, if you're next to your phone, get ready. And what I'll be doing is just basically putting them on a loudspeaker because obviously having so many people in a group chat won't go down as well. So where are you, Rob? Getting me contacts. Rob's going to be talking about each person has a subject what they want to chat to us about. So Rob wants to talk about Jamal Lascelles and John Joe Shelby as well. So where are you? I've got that many people in my phone book. Right. Here we go. So I'm going to put it next to the next to there so you can hear it.
You alright?
Hi Rob, how are you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm in stitches about that Alexa thing.
Oh, because she's piped up and talked, and I should have turned her off. To be fair, well, as you know, you're all live on YouTube. So.
Yes, because I think they are in with a shout of getting into the England squad for the World Cup, and so I was hoping to sort of part of the England squad or the setup. Is there any particular areas you want me to start off with?
No, if I will, why do you think? I know Shelby had an outstanding game against Man United, but do you think he's stepped up to the level in the Premier League? Because I don't think he has. I know. I love John Shelby. Don't get me wrong, but I think this season, I think has been pretty poor overall.
I totally agree with you there. If you look at the way he played against Man United, I think he needs to play like that for the rest of the season. You know, there's no doubt about that. Any more slip-ups, and he most likely won't get in the squad. I'd say there is a little bit of hope for him, because if you look at the 23-man squad, I would send about 4 central midfielders. So you've got Jordan Henderson, the captain. Eric Dyer is on a completely different level to Shelby. So that leaves space for 2 more central midfielders. And so he faces competition up against the likes of Jake Livermore, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Jack Cork, Lewis Cook, etc. And you just get the feeling that he perhaps deserves a chance, because England do have 4 matches between now and before the World Cup starts. So, in my view, I think he is definitely worth experimenting upon.
For one of the top 6 sides, that he would be in the England squad straight away, on a regular, I mean.
I'd say he would definitely have more of a chance, because I do think Southgate really does sort of sway towards the top 6, players in the top 6, to sort of give them a bit of a God-given right to get into the England squad. I mean, if you look at, when I talk about ourselves, are we talking about Phil Jones and Chris Smalling? Which, I mean, let's be honest, if they played for a mid-table side, I doubt they would get in at all into the England squad. And yet they do all the time. So,
sorry, but in there, Rob, Southgate said that because he doesn't want someone in. I remember when he was asked the question, why isn't John Shelby being picked? Do you know, was it the Germany game where England didn't have many centre midfielders and he was picking all these players that ahead of him? You said that he said of Shelby that he didn't want someone to pick the ball off the defence and be like a quarterback, like the quarterback. Sorry, I can't get my words out. A bit like the NFL. So, do you think that's fair?
I find it a bit ridiculous that you're comparing American football with football, because it's a completely different game altogether.
Like he doesn't want England to set up like that. He doesn't want someone. Doesn't want a midfielder to get the ball off the defence and then spray one.
It's not how I would like to see, us play, for example. We really do suffer without Shelby, and he really does. Well, on his day, he does a good job of protecting the back 4, and that's what you sort of need for England as well. You need a sort of defensive-minded player to protect that back 4. Or if you're just going to leave them open to attacks, and England, we're not really the best anymore. There are several teams that are much better than us, and are we going to win the World Cup? Sorry for the colourful language there. If we're going to stand a chance, then we need to sort of defend well, and that means having defensive-minded midfielders in there.
Yeah, okay. What about, you want to talk about the captain, Jamal Lascelles? He's been in fantastic form. Everyone was a little bit worried about his form last season. Because we didn't really know that he had that injury, didn't he, towards the back end of the championship season. And then he's just, how has he just gone up a level?
I think he's really found his niche with this. I think even at the start of last season, I thought, he's definitely got the potential to be a really good Premier League player. In my view, he has reached that potential much sooner than I expected. And I think should we go down, then he will be amongst the first to leave, definitely. But if we stay up, then we've still got a chance of keeping him. And if you think about it, I live with a Man United fan, and he said that he would take Lascelles every day of the week over the likes of Smalling, Jones, and who he called Linda Flop. So, and if you look at the defensive struggles that Arsenal are having at the moment, Lascelles could easily walk into that team as well.
Do you reckon, obviously we played Man United, on Sunday. Is he better than Smalling? Is he better than Jones? Why?
Yes, yeah.
Do you not think he's just overall better? I mean, Chris Smalling got absolutely slated on Sunday. And if Jamal Lascelles played for like a big side like Manchester United, I don't think they would have got beat.
True. I agree with you there. You know, they are incredibly, the pair of them are incredibly error prone. Whereas Lascelles, not only is he a fantastic leader, but from a defender's point of view, he is an excellent organizer of the defence. You know, he also, as part of a leader, he gives players a confidence boost when they need it, and then he also gives, on the other end of the scale, he also gives players a kick up the backside if it's needed. You know, he's a young player who seems to show the maturity and the professionalism of an experienced player, but it's as if he's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, etc. But he's still a young man. Let's not forget, he's still a young man. And goodness knows what he's going to be like in a few years' time when he's sort of at that age where a centre-back really does reach his prime.
Last question then for you, Rob, before I let you go. Will he get an England squad for the Russia World Cup?
I really hope so.
So, will he though?
More than anyone.
Will he? Yes or no?
Yes.
You think he will? Do you think he'll go as a surprise one?
Yeah.
See, I don't think...
He won't,
Go on.
he won't necessarily play, but I think he'll be on the books at least. He'll be in that 23-man squad, but he won't be first choice or second choice.
Do you go in the squad?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, Rob, thank you very much. Rob, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Ta-da. Bye-bye.
And you, bye.
Right, so that was Rob. Yeah, I've realised what I might have done there. So if I did show his number, please don't ring him, right? Okay, because that's just stupid. So I'm going to have a look at your comments now, and then we'll obviously move on to the next man, which is Johnny on our list. I don't think Fordy's going to make it. He has WhatsApped me whilst I was on the phone there, so I'm just going to quickly read that because let's have a look. Right, okay, so Fordy's not going to be in it. Right, okay, so we'll have to skip Fordy. Right, so your comments, right, I need to get on to bloody YouTube, didn't I? So it's interesting that he thinks that Lascelles will go to the World Cup. That's the one that surprised me, mind you. So let's open up the chat as well. Right, okay then. So let's have a look at a few. I'm not going to go through them all because there's absolutely tons there. Let's roll down. So Ali Khan says Ranieri won the league. Don't know what that's going to do for it, to be fair. My luck. Please stop embarrassing yourself, Robert. What? Renforth. Jordan Henderson is shit. Shelby's better than Henderson, says Matthew Wainwright. Be lucky to keep Lascelles after the summer. It's a good shout, you know, but if we were to sell Jamal Lascelles, how much would he actually go for? You know, Koscielny. Yeah, so let's have a look at that. Shelby is too inconsistent to be at the World Cup, but Lascelles should get an England call compared to Smalling or Jones or even Cahill. That's by Luke Berryman. Jody says Lascelles should be going to Russia in the summer because he'll be beneficial to England as he's solid and knows how to find the net with his head. Liam NUFC says he's a natural leader who stands up when the heat is on. Right, okay. Yeah, we realise that it's because he's on loudspeaker. Sometimes it might not be the best quality. Apologise about that. I'm not hooked up to my mics as well. Let's have a look. My England team, Sherwood England's team would be Butland, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Bertrand, Ali, Wilshere, Dyer, Sterling, Rashford and Kane. Let's have a look. I love this. Imagine if we can get on here, guys. Please don't exist. Newcastle players don't exist to the FA, says Michael Horn. We need 40 points. Yeah, I'd like to say is try and be a bit more of a counter-attacking team, as the pace we're having the side is silly. With Keane up top, we could seriously punish teams if we set up properly. Keane. Right, okay. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Rafa is better than Ranieri. Lascelles will not get at the England squad. That's by Jake. He doesn't think so. Shelby won't get a shout. It's not his style. Southgate players. I have to agree with that. That was done by Ada Hebben. I have to totally agree. I just don't think that Shelby, although I just don't think he's had a good season. I know he's absolutely mint, and I praise him massively on Sunday. Overall, I think he's been pretty disappointing for the whole of the season as well. I just don't think I don't think he's Southgate's type of player, and I think he's picking players that are short passing in his area. Shelby won't go, but Lascelles should, says Harry Best. Agreed, Lascelles has been a rock for a couple of seasons. Liam says, without Lascelles, we've been rock bottom for a couple of seasons. Lee, did you remix Enemy Salah song? No. Right, Darlow, England, call up. Well, Ali Khan. Darlow can actually play for Wales as well. So Carl Darlow has I think it's his granddad that is Welsh, and I think his granddad might have actually played for Wales, to be fair. So, right, in case I'm going to move on to my next man, which is Johnny. If he does pick up now, Johnny has obviously been on the fan cams as well. This time I will not reveal any numbers, so obviously I might have revealed Rob's number. So Rob, apologise about that. Right, okay then. So let's ring. Let's see if Johnny is picks up. Let's give you a ring, Johnny. So if you buy your phone, that'd be fantastic, mate. Right, here we go. Apologise if the sound isn't great. You know, I'm not hooked up to a mic. Hello, Johnny, mate. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Not bad. Don't worry. I won't expose your number. I don't know if you've been watching or not.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Schoolboy era. Right. How are we doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Champion. Now, Johnny's obviously been on fan cams several times as well. Seem to mess Johnny's fan cams up all the time, didn't I? That's 3 times, isn't it?
Oh, I might have to go to that other channel now, you know.
It's absolutely horrendous. There's always like sound issues or people talking around it. Oh, hey, can never get. It's only you as well that we mess up the fan cams with. So the story is that the first fan cam didn't pick up any sound at all. And what was the second one?
Oh, I can't remember.
Something to do with,
I don't know which one was that one. It's before Christmas, wasn't it?
yeah, it didn't record or something. Or no, that was it. It was the wire that was pulled in.
Battery, wasn't it? Battery or something like that.
And then Johnny was at the Man United game with us on Sunday, and he was dancing behind the camera and all sorts. But yeah, people around us, about five lads were talking around us around the camera, and the camera's got 2 mics and it's picked up them and over talks half the bloody half the fan cam. Right, you want to talk about Rafa, don't you?
Yeah, I just kind of want to talk about like his tactics and the difference of what he's brought on this side, which, you know, I think everyone can agree it's a championship side with only a couple of additions. So yeah, I think if you look at Sunday's game in particular, you know, I think everyone was thinking throughout the week that Slimani was gonna play, or at least play some part. So it was going to be a big man up top, and you know, he kind of fooled even Jose Mourinho and playing Kale and Perez too. You know, smaller guys on the pitch, and it made, especially for Chris Smalling, made a really tough day at the office for him.
It's been slated, and even the Man United fans, full-time Devils, and everyone.
Yeah, well, I think with I don't particularly rate him. I think Jose is better than Smalling. But I know you've been talking about England a little bit before, but I think a lot of fans be a bit nervous that Chris Smalling gets on the plane. Like, I think how if Jamal Lascelles can't get in this one with Chris Smalling can, I think it's going to be worrying.
Now, you wanted to like talk about Rafa and like just about Rafa as well. Now, you know, Adam McCulloch, who came on the channel the other day, was saying that Rafa is this type of manager who can just get you a one-off result against the big sides. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've said this in a previous fan cam. I think Rafa, if you take away the top 6 teams and their like own little mini league, I think tactically he is the best manager out of the 14 Premier League managers at the minute. I think he can get a you know, a performance out of, let's be honest, average players. And you know, against a team like Man United, where you know they've got all these mega rich players. I think Rafa just actually tactically was unbelievable on Sunday. You know, from the first minute to the last minute, it was we've got a plan. This is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to win, or this is how we're going to get points on the board. And you know, if you look at the big teams, like the big games like Man City home at home, he was criticised heavily for the way he played, but we almost nicked a point right at the end through Gale. So it just shows the type of manager we've got. When you look at some of the previous managers we've had, like Pardew, who's struggling at West Brom, you know, Carver, who's struggling at West Brom. who else? We've had McLaren who can't get a job.
Joe Kinnear.
You know, Joe Kinnear, wherever he is. You know, they were the sort of managers that we've had. And yes, Pardew had his good moments. I'm not going to deny that, but he's nowhere near as good as manager as Rafa Benitez. Nowhere near as good. And I think if we had any of them three in charge from the start of the season, we would bottom of the league, and you know, we would be about 7 or 8 points behind, like at West Brom are at the minute, because you know we just don't have that. I don't know, like that plan, that plan A or plan B or plan C even, that will that can get us the points or get us the players to make a difference. Right.
So you want to talk about Rafa as well, then? So this takeover, because he's got. Well, come the end of the season, he's only got 12 months left on his contract.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Premier League bid's slightly down at the moment. We've seen that today with the news that Sky picked up a lot of the what was it? 4 out of 7. BT got one.
Yes, so Sky have got 4 packages and BT have got 1, but I know it's gone down at the minute, but there is still 2 packages available. And you look at the. I think it's like your Amazons and your Facebooks and your Netflix and Twitter that are meant to be going for these last 2.
You don't want them to win it.
I think it'll go to one of them. I don't think Sky or BT will go for them. I don't think it makes any sense really for either of them to go for it. I think Sky want the Super Sunday, they want a Monday Night Football because that's where they get the most ratings when it comes to BT. You know.
But do you think that has an effect on Mike Ashley selling the club? Because obviously we don't talk about Ashley, it's more about Rafa, but it does affect Rafa, the takeover, because if it doesn't take place, do you think what will happen in the summer with Rafa?
Rafa could have gone, to be honest with you, in the last 12 months, ever since like the day that we didn't get Townsend in January, I've probably counted on about 3 or 4 times where I've gone, well, if Rafa walks now, I wouldn't be surprised. And this, you know, the takeover is huge for the football club. You know, there's been a lot of speculation with Amanda Staveley and that group, but I don't think there's just Amanda Staveley involved in a takeover. I think there'll be a couple more companies or a couple of parties interested in taking over Newcastle, but I think all parties will have the same. I will want the same man in charge, and I think that is Rafa Benitez. He adds that X factor that, let's be honest, other Premier League clubs don't have. You know, like you look at Burnley, Leicester, Watford. You know, they're in and around the top 10, and you know none of them are as attractive as Newcastle. I'm not talking about like size of clubs, all that rubbish. If you were putting it on the table now, right? These are the 13 clubs that are available, apart from the top 6 that you can buy. Newcastle look the most desirable at the minute if we stay up. Because we have the 50,000-seater stadium, we have the world-class manager. It just needs the players. It really doesn't. Rafa's key to that. I don't think any investor will realise that. And you know, he's got 12 months left of his contract. Rafa could go to any job in the world if he really wanted to. There's a lot of probably bigger clubs that have been interested in taking Rafa, but. I think as long as he feels that he can improve Newcastle, feels that he's getting a fair crack at the whip, and most importantly, getting money to spend in the summer, regardless of who's in charge, then maybe we can keep him for another year.
Do you think he will stay? That's a question. Will he stay beyond the summer?
At the minute, I'll say 70-30 because I think we'll stay up. I think he can get us 10 points, 12 points out of the last 11 games. So yeah, I'll say at the minute, yes, he will stay. But let's see what happens in the summer. You know, we could be in the Championship, but I would like to think that we will keep Rafa and we will get the takeover. It almost seems like fairy tale stuff, but you know, you've always got to be optimistic for Newcastle in particular.
Cool. Before I let you go, then, Johnny, where will we finish in the league?
15. I think we'll get enough points. I think you look at I think West Brom will probably all go. I think Southampton will definitely go the way they've been playing. I just don't see where they're going to get goals from.
I think the other team will be probably Huddersfield. I just don't think they've got enough strength. But look, I think it'll be maybe the last 2 or 3 games before we're confirmed either way. But I'll say 15th.
15th. Well, Johnny, well, thank you very much for coming on. Your number's been private, so don't worry. Poor Rob. Rob, if you're watching, I apologise. Well, Johnny, thanks for coming on, man. Enjoy your night. Ta-da, bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Yeah, schoolboy error. So again, Rob, if you are watching, what I'm going to do is I'll read your comments in just a second. I'm going to switch the location. I'm just going to move around the room. So I'll just get my comments back open. Mark, you're next because we are skipping 40, but it'll be about 5 minutes as well. So I'm just going to move around. Right. Okay. So I'll be back with you in a second. I'm just shifting around. Right, okay. So I'm just going to be moving around the room, and then I'm going to read some of your comments, and then we'll move on to the next person, which I've touched upon already, is Mark. When this is live, as of course, oh, there I am in the bloody mirror. As this is live, no guns according to plan. So, right, we'll see how this gun gets on. If I just bloody move, how we extension leads. There we're done. Right, okay, so bring this forward as well. Right. So your comments. Let's have a look at that whilst I read them. Right. So let's have a look. Right. By the way, if you do actually ring Rob, we'll just get the police involved. So I can see what you've just said there. So that's just stupid. We'll trace your IP as well. Right. So back to right. Okay. So always said that, Liam, even when it was close. Thought it would happen at the end of the season, and if you bought it, we would have went down just close to lose a shitload of money. So you obviously talked about the takeover there, Harry. So Ali Khan says we need an owner who will put up with Newcastle. Shays thinks that the atmosphere will be the difference between Rafa leaving or staying. I can't even get my words out now. But that's it. That's very interesting, Shay. Because the atmosphere on Sunday was absolutely fantastic, but we need to say that more and more, week in, week out, because doing it for one game, for me, it's not enough. We need to see more of it. If we lose Rafa, we will go to the way of Portsmouth and Leeds. It's a good shout. It is a good shout because if we're not backed in the summer, Rafa's only got 12 months left, and the takeover, I think it does hinge on it a little bit. Let's have a look what else is due. Right, Spurs all over, Juve, and the Champions League is on as well. Hi mate, want to win against Man U? It was. We need more strikers. Yeah. Luke says, yeah, but that's a problem. He uses us to make us as a profit. Yeah, well, that's Mike Ashley for you, isn't it? Break has come at the wrong time. How many points do you think we'll get in the next 5 games? Oh, you know, I'll go game by game. If we can win away at Bournemouth, I know it's a long distance. That will put you in a really, really good stead, because then we've got Southampton at home. If you offered us 4 points, I would really, really snatch that off that. Luke says, hi mate, love your channel, thank you very much. A buyout with a positive new owner keeps Rafa here as well. My charger is not plugged into this camera, so 1 second. There we're gone. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Lee, do you think we should sign Dubravka? That's by Jack. It's a difficult one because he's had a great debut. But the thing is about Dubravka is he couldn't go and drop a clanger. I think you can't. I know he's had a fantastic debut, and I don't want to sound like I'm being negative, but you've just got to see him between 5 to 10 games to see how he gets on, because we don't know. We could just drop a clanger next and cost us 3 points, you know. Lead by Newcastle. I wish I could. Do you think Gale will stay in the start 11 with Slimani? It gives Rafa options, doesn't it? Slimani will obviously be fit, which is fantastic for everything for you. How many points do you need to stay up? 38, do you think, Liam? I don't know. I think 35, me. I don't think many more, because I think most of the teams at the bottom cannot put 2 wins together. You see with Swansea, if you do that, you can go up the league as well. I mean, the team to watch out for, I think, in the minute is Watford. They're in free fall. I know they've got a new manager and they've got a great win against Chelsea, but I actually honestly think that if Watford, the way they keep going, because they're getting sucked into it as well, I've actually got Watford to go down. Do you know when we done a video, me, Alicia, who else was Will in it, and we done the video of predictions? Well, obviously we said the 2 and 15th, and I said that Watford will go down. Right, Mark, I'm ringing you to pick up, and don't worry, you're not be exposed. Right, so here we go. Hi, Mark, you all right? Don't worry, your number's not going to be exposed. I can see what you put on the Facebook page. I've got it open, you know. You dafties. Right. I'm just going to put you up. I'm just going to put you up there. So give us a second. Right. Right. You wanted to talk about. This will get the comments box going. I know it will. You want to talk about Lee Charnley, don't you?
Aye.
Fire away. What? Now you actually, before you do that, you've actually met Lee Charnley, haven't you? What do you make of Lee Charnley as a person, as a man?
I think he gets a lot of stick for the wrong reasons.
What, for the wrong reasons?
Yeah. If you look at it, he doesn't have any control of Newcastle. He's there as an employee of Mike Ashley. He's there under the restrictions of what Ashley is putting on him. So that's where his problem is. He's doing the best with what he can, and Theo Draper's doing the best with what he can. But they're both down to what. So we can't just go out and spend loads of money. He's got to go with the money that Mike is telling him that he needs to spend.
Do you think that because we've seen it with the transfers that Lee Charnley can't negotiate? You wouldn't even know how to negotiate a brothel if there was a stripper in front of him. Why do you think why can't he get deals over the line? We've seen it several times because he's the go-to man to go and get deals over the line. What is it about it? Does he lack an experience? I mean, how long has he been in the job for now? 2, 3 years? Maybe 4?
I don't necessarily think it's him getting things over the line. I think he's got his heart tight. But if you think Kennedy was not down to him, that was down to Chelsea. So it was down to Chelsea to decide whether or not they want to let him go. With regards to the striker, yeah, maybe 24 million was a bit too much to pay for a striker that's played in the Dutch league and is improving. So I know what I mean, but I still think 24 million or whatever they were was a bit too much. But if you look at it, on deadline day, he pulled out Slimani, which was a deal that was done on deadline day, and he did the keeper.
You do. I'll give him credit. On deadline day, Newcastle were really busy because obviously with the shifting players out as well. I think it was 4 or 5 left on deadline day, and we had 3 coming in, so he would have been in the thick of that as well. But why do Newcastle fans can't stand him? Is it because he's linked to Mike Ashley and he's his messenger?
I think it's because he's linked to the fact that he's the one who's running the club. He's the one who has to do all the negotiation over transfers. But if you look at it, everyone was saying that he did a ball when we got Marino for 6 million with the loan on there. We're now turning around with the broker saying like 5 million with the loan fee looks a bargain again. So there are quite a couple of deals that he's doing that is quite good in terms of what he's able to negotiate. But like I said, I think his hands are tied as much as anyone else's at that club. Because he can only do what he can only work with the resources that he's given.
Sounds like you're sticking up for him.
If you're not sticking up with him, yes, I'd probably say he has made quite a few mistakes. But for me, and like I said, having the personal meetings with him, he is very open, he is very honest. A lot of the things he probably can't say out in public, he can't say in the media, but there are things where he will answer a question if he can, or he will give an honest response if he can. So there are things where he has answered questions for me that was, I know very well that was just between the people that were in the room, but it's not something that he would be able to discuss outside, because obviously he would have implications between deals going on or whatever's happened, stuff like that.
Do you think that you've talked about his communication there? Now there is this barrier between, you know, the fans and the board, and we don't hear enough of it. If he was to come out and say, you know, this is the reason why, or this is the reason being, or we can't do that, we can't do that. I know he's probably under strings under Mike Ashley not to say anything. I don't want my dirty laundry washed in public. And do you think that if it was to be the case that he could be a little bit more, what's the word, approachable? Do you think that will help him, the club, the fans, the relationship with one another?
I think it probably would, but I think the big problem with the club is it doesn't communicate. But I think with fans where nothing the club does will be right. Look at the issue of the flags on Sunday when, as soon as that message came in, everyone was criticising, saying, "Oh, the club, the band and the band." And it was basically a few of their volunteers running onto the pitch, which was against what the club had set down for their security protocol. So you can understand that. You can understand the club saying, "Look, we've given you the trust, you've breached that trust." But it's one of those things where I think because the club doesn't communicate enough when these sort of things happen, it does just go down there. And I think just what's happened with the bad run, we're not winning games, not getting enough players in, it's just all negativity.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Right, last question before I let you head off. The tax case with involving Lee Charnley. What's your thoughts on it? Obviously, we know he was raided as part of the investigation with the club as well. Do you think he's guilty? Do you think there's a bit of dodginess amongst all of that? Do you think he's innocent, or are you going to go along the lines of he's innocent until proven guilty?
I'll go innocent until he's proven guilty. Whether or not there's a question of whether or not it's something that was legally done, but it's still we don't get around it. There's a lot of people that do things legally, but should still be paying taxes.
What do you think will happen? Go on, sorry, one mark.
The only thing I think will happen, I don't think there'll be any sort of points or anything like that. I think there'll probably be a fine, if anything.
What do you think it'll be for the club and the individuals? Do you think any sackings will happen?
I think if anything, it'll be the club, because it's the club as a company that has done this. It's not an individual, it's the club that when they've signed the contract, and it's all from what I believe now the image rights and the way they've done that to try and avoid tax. I think there'll be a fine, if anything. I don't think it'll be, it's gone down this long. If they had enough, if it was a case where they were going to make that, do you not think they would have come down lot sooner? If they were going to really hammer down on it, they might still do that. They might want to make an example of a Premiership club and say, look, this is what happens here, unless he's going to do it. I just think they've taken so long. It's died down a bit, no one's hearing anything about it. So I think, looking at it, if anything, it'll probably just be a fine.
Okay. When do you next see Lee Charnley?
Don't know.
What would be your message to Lee Charnley before I let you go? Communicate more. I would have to agree with you. I would have to totally agree with you. Right, Mark, I'll let you go. I'll let you take the mickey out of us on the Facebook page. All right. Right. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy your night. Ta-da. Right, so interesting. Mark has met Lee Charnley before, seeing it from a different perspective there, isn't he? He said that you can only communicate what he's told. Like the purse strings are not loosened, where he can only say what he's allowed to say. Whereas I think the communication barrier for me, it needs to be broken down. There needs to be like a relationship with the fans, because when it all kicks off, when there's protests or even good times, all we see is a little statement on the club's website. That's it. We don't see Lee Charnley. And I think that's crucial to me. I think the relationship with the fans in the club, and we've got relationship with us and Mafa in the squad is fine, fantastic. But going at that next level, we have not got a relationship with the board as fans. I'm speaking from my personal experience, and probably you guys in the live chat and also the comments if you're rewatching the video. you know, the fan groups as well. What's, you know, like Warwick Yemen, you know, the supporters trust. How much communication did they get with Lee Charney on a higher level? I know they probably have the communication with the club, but I thought that, you know, it's interesting what Mark was saying there, that he sees it from a different side and he can only say what he's allowed to say. And I think that needs to be, what's the word I'm trying to get? You know, it needs to be allowed. There needs to be a communication or a communication officer or something along those lines. I mean, what do you guys think in the comments? I mean, let's see if we can have a look at that as well. Okay then. So Lee Charney used to live next door to me. I was friends with his son Alex. Sometimes I got free tickets to the matches. He's a great guy in person. So she's obviously seen it from a different perspective as well, which is interesting as well. So, oh, bloody hell, man. Stop promoting yourself on the comments, man. Right, okay. So, Salmani will be fit for Bournemouth. He could be playing against United. He could have played against United, sorry, but we didn't want to run the risk given interesting. Sharky, shut up, please. Sharky's not... that wasn't Sharky on the call. Sharky didn't want to come on the night for whatever reasons. Lee Charney, yeah, blah, blah. What else is he put about Lee Charney? Will, if you're watching, you're up next, mate. Will, to get a hold of Will is an absolute nightmare, so we might not actually get a hold of Will tonight because he's probably rat-arsed out on the drink, even if it's 10 to 9 at night. Lee, how do you think Slimani will get on, says Jack? I think he'll do better than what we've got, definitely. Just I don't want fans putting it all on Slimani because you know what it is. We're done it with Hosselu, and Hosselu got off to a great start, you know, and fans, 5 million, what a bargain, and all this sort of stuff. And then the fans got on his case, and I think Slimani, we're all putting the pressure on him to perform. And I think you just got to let him come in, you know, steadily. You know, he's only probably going to play a maximum of 10 games for the rest of the season because he can't play against Leicester, 10, 11. But I think just be wary of it as well. Right, okay then. So, what do you think I'm doing, Lee? Robert, I don't know, Robert. What are you doing? I know you're messing the page, but I can't communicate with 3 things. So I've got this on my phone. So let's have a look. Right, okay, right. Do you rate High Dora? Says Jack. You know what? When he first come in and he was performing, and ever since that McManaman challenge, it just hasn't been. His career's went a little bit backwards. I know he's had injuries, which never helps players, but you know he's much better going forward than Paul Dummett. There's no shadow of a doubt about that because he's more natural. If it's a wing back system, I'd rather have Adara at left wing back than Paul Dummett at left wing back if they had the 2 options. I know we've got Kennedy, but if you give me that option, I'd rather go Adara. But defensively, I just don't know. He just doesn't seem astute, and he will be leaving the club. His contract's running down in the summer as well. What do you think about Ryan Mason retired at 26? It's a shame for him, you know, that challenge against, I think it was Chelsea, wasn't it? So all the best to Ryan Mason. It's in no age, 26, you know. He's only just a couple of years younger than me. So it's a shame, like, because I mean he's got all the money in the world. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's. I don't care if you're mega rich in football, but it's your passion, it's your hobby. And if you get taken that away, can you come back for it? So all the best to Ryan Mason, without a shadow of a doubt. Well done for beating us on Sunday, mate. You deserved it. I felt crushed inside after losing the game, but we never looked like scoring. Well done. Cheers, Brad. Yeah, which surprised me. We're going to be talking about Man United later on in the show as well. So we'll finish 14th. Hosselu and Gale are the hardest working strikers I've ever seen. That's by Shea as well. So next up, we've got Will, if he does answer. So let's have a look at that. So Will, if you're by your phone, let's just hope he's not in the club. Every time I say Will on Snapchat, he's getting absolutely mortal all the time. Right. God, what I would do to be 18 again. Or 19. Right, so here we go. Let's see if Will. This is Will that I'm ringing. So it's ringing. Hello, mate.
I'm on the drink. I'm
Are you on the drink?
No, I'm not.
See,
The team has started.
That's your reputation, Will. Every time I go to Snapchat, you're doing this. Well, I know you. Well, obviously you can't see me, but I mean, I'm doing this. I'm doing shot signs. How are you? You all right?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm champion. When are you gonna do video?
When am I going to do the video? When?
I'm always pressuring you, aren't you? I'm like, come on, Will. When you do a video. Right, you want to talk about Flower Lejeune, don't you?
I do, yes, because I was actually in Newcastle when the game was going on. I just couldn't make it down to that to be on a train pretty much immediately afterwards. But I watched it and I was really pleased to see Lejeune both start and play so well, because Kieran Clark has been such a liability for so long, especially the main game I'd highlight with Kieran Clark is the one against Chelsea in the FA Cup. I think we were like playing three at the back, but I remember it might have even been for two of their goals. He was pretty much just on the halfway line, and he's got a mistake in him all the time, and it's a shame to see because I raised Kieran Clark so highly after the championship season. But now he just seems to, his form's just completely gone out the window, maybe it's lack of confidence, but we look so much better with Lejeune in the team.
Do you think that because, you know, we've seen it last season when Kieran Clark come in, he was absolutely mint with Lascelles. Do you feel that Lejeune and Lascelles are the way forward for this season, or the back end of this season and next season? Or do we strengthen again?
I mean, I feel that one's down to take over again. I do like Lejeune. I think there's definitely a really good player in there. Lascelles, I think he's fantastic. I mean, going back to what you were saying earlier, I mean, I personally think that he should at least be in a chance to go to the World Cup. I think he should be involved in at least friendlies, because I rate him definitely above likes of Cahill, potentially even Smalling and Jones, especially based on Sunday's performance. I thought I'm quite all over that, actually. I'm still bouncing off the walls.
We all are.
But, sorry?
We all are. It was a mint day.
It was amazing. And what was I talking about? Lejeune.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I think those two, they do form a good partnership. You know, they're both tall, really, really strong. I think I wouldn't personally change it because I think it's important to kind of keep the back five quite steady and quite consistent, because it helps build the team better and gives them more confidence.
Now, you've talked about Kieran Clark. He's done a few errors. Well, not like massive errors. It's just basic marking and that. So do you feel as an individual that Flower Lejeune is better than Clark? Not in the team, but as an individual. He's got more in his locker.
I think so. I think he's better on the ball. I think he's better tactically. He's more tactically aware. I think when you talk about the mistakes that I've highlighted, it's almost like a discipline thing. And if Kieran Clark had played against Manchester United, I feel as though we would have. There were so many charges that Lejeune made that I don't think Kieran Clark would have. Especially the block from Sanchez when he rounded at Tabarka. I just think he's much better aware of where he's meant to be. He looks like a much more natural defender.
Can he go on and play for France, or is that to we're jumping ahead of ourselves there?
No, I don't think so. An amazing array of centre backs, Varane and Titi, Koscielny, just to name a few. So I don't think he's going to. He's not in World Cup contention, but out of the centre backs we've currently got, I think he is definitely one of the best. And moving forward into the summer, if we do get taken over and we get like a big mega rich takeover, then I would still look at centre backs, because seemingly Rafa doesn't seem to fancy Chancellor member at all, so I think that does need to be changed around. But those two, I think I feel much happier with those two going forward.
Now, I just want to talk about tactically about Lejeune. I've noticed this quite a lot, that you can spray the ball a bit. He's got it in his locker. So for me, when Lejeune picks the ball up, he's already looking what Shelby does. So if we've got that in the locker, do you feel that when we have the ball in possession, that Shelby should be getting further up the pitch? Because we know Lejeune has that in his locker.
He does. What was the criticism of the Man Man United pairing, Jones and Smalling, was that they're both very similar in by the fact they're not really ball players, and that they would be much better having, because one of them they sort of more sit back, don't really want to receive the ball, sort of a more old-fashioned style defender, and then someone like Lindelof is much better on the ball. I think those two do work really well, and I think I wouldn't say it gives license for Shelby to run forward. I think it gives us a bit more of an outlet. So when the ball, if it say goes from the goalkeeper to Lejeune, and then puts it into Shelby, and then Shelby Diame, who Lincoln play on Sunday, was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I was absolutely stunned.
Yeah, was that
seeing Mohamed Diame. I think it is a much better outlet for us to have, because those two connect and we can get the ball into midfield and then and get it forward much better.
cool? Right. Well, that was quite brief, short. When am I next getting you on?
When are you next getting me? I was thinking of doing, because I was having a bit of a reminiscing session last night. I found like one of your you remember Steve McLaren's last game?
The Bournemouth one.
Yeah, I found like that came up on like my recommended, so I watched that. And ironically, after Bournemouth, we'll be in the exact same position as we were under McLaren 10 games ago, and I'm thinking of doing something along those lines.
Like a 1 year thing. Well, where are you now? Are you back in Salford?
Well, yeah, I am in Salford, yeah. It was very fun because on Sunday I got the train back and it was with all the Man United fans.
Oh, I bet that was interesting. Were you loud or were you just quietly like that?
I've never seen so many disappointed faces in my life.
It was
a nice moment for me.
Well, I put your little video up, your little intro for the other day, last night's video, and you looked very happy about the result. Like, we should get more of them. We should get more of them. We'll get more of them on the channel. The instant reaction.
Yeah.
Going to go down quite well. Right, well, thanks very much, man. Thanks for coming on. I'll message you later on the night. All right, enjoy your night. Bye. Bye. Right, so that was Will, one of the presenters who, he's taking the mickey because obviously I always say Will on the drink on your Snapchats all the time. Right, so what he's just saying in the comments there. So he's made some interesting thoughts about there. Who was the better defender then for you? Is it Kieran Clark? Is it Flang Lejeune? Because obviously Lascelles picked himself. If that makes sense. Right, so let's have a look at your the chat, what he's been saying about what Will has been saying as well. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Bloody hell, there's a few we're going to get through here. We'll finish higher than Brighton. Will we finish higher than Brighton, Huddersfield, do you think, Liam? I don't care, as long as we stay in the Premier League. It's difficult, yes and no. So let's have a look at that. What's the Facebook page called? Right. Will, what clubs do you go to in Manchester? Rob's coming on. Roberts, who's in the comments box down below, he's coming on shortly as well. When are you on? Robert, you're next, actually. I'm going to be speaking to Robert next. Now, Robert got a lot of, let's just say he got a lot of hate in one of the fan cams when it was the Luton game. You know, as it's coming. It was the Luton game, and he was so, sorry, Rob, but you were so negative about everything. And it's one of the most popular fan cam videos because there's several of dislikes on it. And the secret about YouTube is if you dislike the video, it promotes it because there's more action on the account. Hence the reason why I don't mind if someone dislikes a video, because it's promoting the video, which trolls don't realise that. But Rob came on and he wasn't very happy at all about everything. And I was watching there holding the camera, giggling when he was like, no, he's not Woodbin, and all this sort of stuff as well. So, God, Right, Shay says, I sit close to you at home matches, just can't see you. Well, I sit in the Gallagher, the west bit of the Gallagher. If only if I lived in England, I would go to many games as possible. Or, mate, you should get yourself a game because the atmosphere on Sunday was absolutely unreal. Do you think Gammers will be given a chance, says Jack? Nah, I think he's like Hedora. He's heading out the club as well. He's too injury prone. I seen him walk on crutches a couple of weeks ago when we were doing videos outside St James's as well, you know. Jacob Murphy, why isn't he starting? He's come on leaps of bound. That's Scott Taylor. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but then again, Richie scored. But before that, I would have had Murphy without a shadow of a doubt as well. Right, so Scott Taylor, I'm going to dislike now. Dislike it, promote it, I don't care. Right, do you think Armstrong will ever play for us? His pre-season's massive. It is massive. I mean, I want Adam Armstrong to do well. I've said this before, because obviously his cousin goes out with my cousin, and I want to see Armstrong do really well, but I think it's pre-season. He's got to have a good pre-season, you know what I mean? So, Robert, I'm going to be ringing you, so if you buy your phone, that'll be champion. What do you want to talk about? Robert is wanting to speak about the midfield, so we could be here all night. And now this stream was only meant to be an hour, so we've still got Robert to come on, Liam, Chris, and James. So we've still got 4 more to get through as well. So let's ring Robert. Hi, mate. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, I'm just going to put you next to the computer. Don't worry, I won't show you your number.
Think if we get more people, then thank for if you put my number up on the screen.
I'll keep your number hidden because I know you're quite controversial in one of those fan cams. I've just touched upon the Luton one.
Well, talking about that, I got 29 likes and 49 dislikes on that video. And the next podcast got 40 likes and 2 dislikes.
Well, like
times have changed.
what is my cat doing? My cat's appeared on screen. Right. So the freaking cat's all over. Right. Anyways, Reece, you wanted to talk about the midfield, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got a few numbers up, got a bit of a little notes that I've prepared for the stream.
Fire away.
I've noticed the partnerships started to form between Shelby and Diami, who started 6 of the last 8 games since Christmas. Mourinho, along with Hayden, have been left to the bench due to newfound form with both Shelby and Diami in the middle. Newcastle have now only lost twice to Manchester City in the last 9 games, which is incredible form, to be honest, when you look at the bottom half and how it's panning out to be.
1 defeat and 7.
Diami's looked our best player in the last 9 games with a deeper role, as I said the other night on the podcast. It suited him most likely because of his lack of pace when he was positioned in the number 10. As a person, I like to see Shelby more than number 10, as Lee mentioned, because Lejeune is more of a ball-playing defender. We can probably move Shelby up to the number 10 instead of Perez. And welcome either Hayden or Marino back into the starting 11 due to higher tackle count so far this season. Marino has played a game less than Shelby in minutes, but yet made 30 more tackles than Shelby this season, which I think is phenomenal.
He does win a lot. He wins a lot of the ball, and I was quite surprised when I seen this. I think I seen it on BT a few months ago. That he was before he got his injury, he was in the top 5 tacklers, which really surprised me, considering he brings the ball forward as well.
He does, and I think it's confidence on the ball that allows him to do it. The introduction of Kennedy into the squad, it's not just the centre midfield, it's the wide men as well. The introduction of Kennedy into the squad has given added competition out wide, so like Abatu and Richie. And with Murphy having a rich vein of form, wide positions are, I think, in high demand. I believe that Murphy has been unlucky to get dropped, as you've mentioned, in fan cams, and he's not had a poor game in the recent fixtures. However, Richie finally finds the net with his 43rd shot of the season.
Let's talk about Richie. Can we talk about Richie, Robert?
Yeah. I mean, I've not been a massive fan of Richie this year, but I was delighted when he scored on Sunday. Yeah,
you've been quite critical. Shock horror. Of most people, but Richie in particular, I've noticed those comments when he commented on videos through the weeks. What is it about him? I know he's take away Sunday for a second. What is it about him that you're not liking about him?
It's not that I don't like him. I just think there's better players in the squad than him. So, funny enough, I did some comparison between the 4 wingers.
Yeah.
Okay. And Richie's played the most amount of football this year by a distance. He's played 400 minutes more than Atsu, and he's played 2,000 minutes in total. To be fair to Richie, he's made more tackles than the other three wingers combined. He's made more passes than the other three wingers combined. He's had 44 shots, 5 assists, and only 1 goal. But the thing that I was frustrated about is that 4 of those 5 assists came in the first couple of games. It was by Stoke, he had 4 assists. And it's the dip in form since Stoke, which has really sort of frustrated me, because he's not produced anything in front of goal since then, until obviously Sunday and the other assist that he had.
What is it about Richie though? Why does it? Do you think? Because obviously in the second half of that chat, we've had this chat already, but for the people who haven't seen it, the second half of that championship, he was the best player, and he was scoring the goals. You know, what is it about the Premier League? Is it just a level too much for him, or is it just is he being unlucky?
I think he's been unlucky because he's hit the woodwork 3 times this year, and he has been obviously creating chances with the amount of shots he's had, but you've got, at the end of the day, the business is scoring goals, and if people are going to criticise Hossley, you've got to criticise Richie for not scoring goals. He's done plenty more things. He's put in a lot of tackles, and we can't deny he's a hard worker, but everybody in that team's hard working. It's not like we have people who slack off anymore. Everyone, as Shearer said, everyone's fighting for the shirt, so I'm hoping that he can put another 4 in for the rest of the season, another 4 goals in for the rest of the season, and that would definitely revive the season. But I just hope that his form is now sort of on the turn, sort of thing. I don't think he's performed well enough in October, November, December, January.
His form's definitely dipped without a shadow of doubt. I think it's a bit harsh. Take away Sunday aside for a second. Jacob Murphy, since the turn of the year, has been really hard done by, I think, for not being in that starting 11.
I would definitely agree. I mean, you could say he's a little, lightweight when it comes to sort of getting knocked off the ball and stuff, but he creates chances, and at the end of the day, that's what we have to do. We have to create chances, and
You took that
Gale or Hossley up front, that's what the job of the wide men are.
you took that goal against Manchester City really, really well, mate, didn't you?
He did, and I went absolutely crazy when he put it in.
Well, you're in Manchester as well. I'm getting everyone from Manchester. They need all right. Let's go quickly back to Shelvey and Diarmé, because Diarmé in particular, what a turnaround he's had in his Newcastle career, hasn't he?
Absolutely unbelievable. It's you saw the analysis. Probably saw the analysis on Match of the Day, and they were literally just chipping Pogba and Matic like it was for fun. They were lobbing them, they were spraying balls everywhere. Man United were outrun by a £12 million Voldemort and a power-balanced Musa Sissoko.
It's a bit harsh on them.
Well, no, it's just embarrassing Man United, really, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, Pogba was nowhere on Sunday, wasn't it? And I think he was. I mean, I was. Don't get me wrong. When I go to this is why you go to games, and you want to see Sanchez, you want to see Lukaku, you want to see Pogba, these big names, and they just didn't show up. And Mo Diarmé and Jonjo Shelvey, and Jonjo Shelvey in particular on Sunday was phenomenal. And I've already said earlier on in this stream that he's had a disappointing season. He needs.
And funny enough, I looked on the stats earlier.
Yeah.
And Jonjo Shelvey hasn't got an assist or a goal this year.
You know, it's credible, isn't it?
That's a bit harsh because the pass against Liverpool technically was his assist.
Yeah, it was. That was in Miami.
The reason that he came up Matic was, that's sort of shown how underperforming Shelvey has been this year, and it's probably the reason why Shelvey won't get called up to England.
No, I would agree. Shelvey doesn't deserve it.
He's only performed in one game, and I've got loads of friends who are Man United fans, and they say he always seems to raise his game against Man United.
I've said that.
Newcastle plus Swansea or Liverpool.
He's done that against when he played for Liverpool, and you know, for Shelvey, I don't think he deserves his England side. He's probably got a lot more ability than the other players in that England side in his position. I mean,
he has to show it more in the Premier League, and has to show his quality going forward and backwards.
Consistency. Touch upon the left flank finally. You know, you've seen Atsu. We've got Roland Aarons has been loaned out, and Kennedy's come in as well. He's added a little bit of spark in that midfield, a little bit more quality on the ball, hasn't he?
little bit less, he's sort of the maverick, I would call him, because he's less predictable with apps. He just knows he's going to pick up and like run down to the byline. And
the thing I like about Kennedy is his composure around him. He's not like intimidated by anybody.
Yeah, he's not panicked.
He doesn't panic. He's calm. He can turn you. Don't get me started on Perez.
So just quickly before you let me go, this is on Kennedy and Slimani. I would personally like to see Kennedy sign on a permanent basis, similar to how Atsu did. And you said this before. Slimani, despite him playing, I'm not too keen on him, and I wasn't before we signed and not now. However, I'm more than willing for him to prove my lack of enthusiasm wrong. Like, if you were right before, everybody when we signed Hosselu said that, oh, he's a great player. What a bargain. Don't do the same with Slimani. He's just building himself up to be disappointed.
But then again, don't. I think you kind of judge him until he's actually played a few games.
No, exactly. I'm not going to judge him. I'm wiping a clean slate for him. I'm just saying, look, prove me wrong. That I would have preferred to get Sturridge, but saying that, he walked off after 4 minutes yesterday. So
I know I've been inundated with messages saying, "Told you, Lee," because I was obviously quite upset. But still, I would have took Sturridge. Even it's easy in hindsight to say that. It's so easy to say Daniel Sturridge just went down and did it's the right thing. But at that present time, yeah, he has. But how much? Before I let you go, then, how you said you want to buy Kennedy? How much will he go for?
I think similar to maybe a little bit more than that too, because he was starting to play for Chelsea. I'd say probably about 15 million. I think we'd have to pay for him.
Yeah, and he's really young as well. He's what, 22, isn't he? 21, 22, is he?
Yeah, so we'd have to dig out some money for him, but definitely from the performance he's given, he's probably worth it.
So are you going to jump?
We could hit 40 odd points quite easily. I know you've been talking about where we'd finish.
Yeah.
We've got Southampton, Huddersfield and West Brom, which are 3 relegation candidates at home. So you would think you would be wanting at least 5, 7 would be what you would think would be getting, and hopefully 9 out of those 3 games. And then you look at Arsenal's form away from home. That's a difficult game for them to come to. And Chelsea never get anything at St James's Park, so that's also a point. And anywhere else we can pick up, we're getting points all over the board. So I'm quite confident we'll stay up, to be honest.
No, I think we will as well. Are you going to jump back in the comments box then? Because I can see you commenting. Are you jumping back in there?
I've not jumped in since I've been on, no.
Oh, well, have you got any hate then? Let's have a look. Right, I'll let you go then, Robert. Thank you very much.
He's a legend, Jonathan Young. Robert is a legend. There we go.
Right, I'll let you go then. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. All the best. Ta-da. Right, so that was Robert. That overran. Yeah, so the stream's obviously I predict the stream will be an hour and it's like flew over, isn't it? Right, so we have Liam from Australia. Yep, we're ringing Australia, so we'll see how that goes. So Liam, if you are watching, if you can get near your phone, and when you do speak, if you can just talk a little bit slower, because we're having to do it through WhatsApp, so the connection isn't very great. Well, it might be better. I mean, I might be wrong, but let's have a look at what you've been saying in the comments. I need to get the app back open. See what you've been saying about Robert. Right, okay. Right, so let's have a look. Okay, right, so right. Hiya, mate. You all right? Geordie boy, how you doing? You all right? Stats don't lie, tell the true story, all hands on deck to survive. What you're doing, ring up and give our thoughts. Well, no Geordie boy, it's a pilot. I'm just trying to no fancy graphics tonight. We're just getting basically on people who would know the channel, who can speak competently. So what we're doing is seeing how it goes. There's no fancy graphics. I know it's a long stream, but when there's no, because obviously the Newcastle news is normally dead. I mean, we're going to be having a live quiz as well some point during this week as well. But when the news is a little bit dead, we thought we'll just jump on, interact with you. But I've already done the mistake of giving someone's number out already, so I guess I'm learning on the job as a speaker as well. Right, okay then. So let's have a look at. I should stick and buy in a clause for Kennedy for 10 to 15 million. I would like to think we'll see him over the line. That's by Geordie Boy as well. Right, okay then. Right, so that the goal from Ericsson makes me worried about the World Cup. What is the Spurs score? Because obviously I'm on the live stream. Someone let us know how they're getting on the night in the Champions League. No, I won't. No. So all those people that are saying about that presenter, no, at all. So I think it's a bit harsh. Blah blah blah. A bit harsh. Should be on the bio of Rob's social media. Also, why is everyone saying that? Right, okay. I love the competition midfielder, but I think Mourinho should be playing. Otherwise, there is no point in keeping him if he's just going to sit on the bench. We'll get 20 million for a bench player. That was done by Shagan. Hello, Shagan. Scott Taylor, can we not play Mourinho, Shelby, and Diarma in a 3-flat-3? I think you can only play that probably in a wing back. What you think what Rafa sets up, because you'll not play them three. Robert was talking about maybe move Shelby in the number 10, but then again we're talking about Richie as well. Why can't you move Richie in the 10? But Richie's had that chance at the 10. I know it's against a world class side, didn't really do anything, but it's difficult at number 10. I think that 10 position in that midfield or striking role, whatever you want to call it, is a problem still. You know, and I don't think Rafa's addressed the number 10 personally for me. I just don't think Jose Perez is up for it personally for me. Right, okay, so Dubravka has kept 9 clean sheets in his last 11 games and has international experience. 4 million is a bargain. That's by Ben Patterson. Can I get my words out? That may be the case, but he's playing in the Czech league, which isn't strong, and he's playing for a side that will probably only get 5 shots against him because, let's be honest, Sparta Prague dominate that league. But I think with Dubravka, just give him time. Just give him time because we're all putting these hopes up, you know. Right, Kieran, so if Sulmani gets his goal, we should be okay. Lack of goals has been a problem. Okay, right, so no crackheads on tonight. No Geordie Boy, they're all people who are associated with the channel as well. So everyone is saying, who is your favourite player? I don't really have a favourite player. Because no one's consistent enough. I know Lascelles is probably the most consistent we've had, so probably scraping it, probably him. But not many players are so consistent to warrant a favourite player as well. We need 37 points to stay up. So let's have a look at that. Right, okay. Who is our best young player, Jack? Young player? What do you mean in the under 23s? Freddie Woodman, Dan Barlaser. I say this all the time. Dan Barlaser as well. Victor Fernandez really excites me as well. Been watching him as well. Alex, do you work for Sky Sports? I work for Sky. Right, okay. Why has Murphy been dropped recently? That's the other Shay. I don't know. It's a strange one, isn't it? I think it's a little bit harsh on Jacob Murphy why he's been dropped, but I guess we've got to just trust in Rafa and so on, everyone. So, right, Liam, I'm your next, mate. So, now, we're all ringing Australia. They are in the morning now, so we'll see if he picks up and if the connection is decent enough. See how we get. Hi, mate. Yeah, can you hear you? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. Right. So, what's the time over your way? Bit of background noise. Bit of background noise there.
Okay, I'll turn the fan off quickly. I've got to go to work in about 5 minutes. So.
All right, we'll be quick then. Right, you want to talk about the running?
Yeah, so, well, as you know, I'm quite fond of the numbers and looking at stats.
Yeah.
So, what I did is I looked at the league table and I basically worked out that, well, with a calculator for about 30 seconds, between the 11 fixtures we have remaining, have a net goal difference of +9, so it's a pretty balanced run-in.
Yeah.
And if we factor in only the performances at the venues where we're playing them, that net goal difference is 4. And our records suggest if we take draws out of the equation as a result,
Yeah.
based purely on numbers, we will win 4 games, all at home.
So
we are a better home side than Arsenal are an away side.
So how many points are?
Arsenal.
So how many points are going to keep us up?
I think 36 will keep us up.
Do you think it'll be just?
Because those sides around that so evenly matched.
Mm-hmm.
And then Man City play a lot of them as well. And our goal difference is like another half a point compared to the sides in the bottom three. So
yeah, that goal difference is massive because that's going to keep us up, isn't it? I mean, you look at all that teams down there. I think it's only was it us and Southampton off the top of my head, whoever the best goal difference down there. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, Southampton -12, we're -11.
Yeah, so we're up there with one of the best. I think that you're a good shout. I think we'll keep it up. I know you're conscious of time, so I'll speed this up as well. Now, we've got some big guns still to play. I know we've got both the Manchester clubs out the way, and we've still got the likes of Liverpool, Spurs and Chelsea. Can we get anything from those three games? Because we've seen it against Man United, we can.
Well, can and will are two different words. Can we? Yes, we've shown we can, on our day, we can do a fair bit. Liverpool also have Champions League football to worry about. So we play them in a good time, I think, because they're going to have their fingers in a few different pies.
Yeah, they're big.
Spurs will be tough. Chelsea's the last day of the season, so hopefully it's all said and done by then.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully we've dealt with what we need to do by Chelsea. And the other top six side we play is Arsenal, who are an exceptionally poor away side. As I said, 13 points from 14 games with a -7 goal difference.
Yeah.
If you factor in their away form.
Totally forgot about Arsenal as well. Now you talk about. Let's just talk about. Obviously, you want to talk about the running, but the next two games are against the South Coast teams. We've got Bournemouth away and Southampton at home before we'll play Liverpool off the top of my head. How many points would you accept in the next two games, or how many do we need?
If you offer me 4 points, I'd snap your hand off.
You take 4 points.
To be honest, I'd take 2 points. Well, to be honest, I'd almost say 2 points would be better than 3 points in the sense that if we get 2 points, we haven't given either of them 3.
Yeah.
If we go draw, I think that's better than win-loss, because if we win one, lose one, it means that someone's taking 3 points.
Yeah, I think also. Go on, sorry.
There you go, mate.
I think with our record against the bottom 10 is pretty good. That's where we've picked up most of our points. And I think the longer that continues,
Yes.
I think we'll stay up. I even said that without any transfers coming in January. I still believe that Rafa, just him being there, will keep us up.
Yeah, and now that we've got a striker, given that we are 11th in the league for chances created and 9th for total shots, a striker who only goes at 5 shots per goal is something we could use.
Yeah.
Slimani's record in the Premier League, 5 shots per goal.
Interesting. What time is it over there?
25 past 8 in the morning. I really have to go to work. I start in 20 minutes.
25 past 8. Well, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for coming on, Liam. I'll speak.
Right, mate, I'll flick you the numbers as well that I use because I didn't get to quote all of them, so I'll flick you them.
Yeah, no worries, man. Right, I'll let you go to work. Cheers, man.
See you, mate.
Stay bye. No, that's all right. Bye. Right, so that was Liam, who's in Australia at the moment, 25 past 8 in the morning. Apologise if you didn't hear that correctly. We're going over WhatsApp because I'm not ringing them. I'll get charged an arm and a leg for that. We've also got another Aussie on next as well. We've got 2 more people to get through, and then we will literally wrap up as well, and we'll see what he's been saying about the running, I guess. Then, so let's have a look at yours. Right, okay. So Liam, NUFC, Lee, I need to go to work soon. I go to work. Have a good shift. This is probably the worst Premier League. This is probably the worst Premier League season, Liam. Why do you say that? Sparta Prague are only 5th as well. Oh, that's interesting. Do you think Slimani will do all right? If he scores 3-4 goals and 10, I'll be happy. Is there a difference between Sky and Sky Sports? Sorry, Sky are the same company as Sky Sports. Sky are just the brand, and they have like Sky Sports, Sky Movies, etc., etc. I work for Sky, yeah. So, what's happened with El Marni? That's how you say it. Wolves are after McGree. Murphy should be playing Atsu. That's Geordie boy. El Marni, the investigation, that's what you're probably guessing, asking us. It's still under investigation as well. I think it's best that they take the time. Peter Beards is still on garden leave. And I think, well, not garden leave, sorry. He's been given leave, sorry. Correct wording. And I think it's better that they take the time, get the facts right, rather than rushing it. So it's still under investigation as well, that. Yeah, background noise, sorry about that. 17th, I think, will be in the league. That's Jake Holden. Who else? Thoughts on the Brook? Yeah, he's all right. He's had a good debut. 40 is the magic number. It's really tight this season. 35 with good goal difference, which I believe we have a good goal difference. That's crucial. Liam made that point, is that the goal difference probably should keep us up. We've got Southampton after Liverpool. Yeah, sorry, haven't got the fixtures in front of me. I'm doing it off the top of my head. So if we've got well, I'm not doing this. I might be doing it in order. We've got Bournemouth, Liverpool, and Southampton. Those 3 games. You want the defeat against Liverpool if there is a defeat, don't you? Because you don't want the other 2 winning. So I'll be happy with 4 points from 3 games as long as the defeat is against Liverpool. But I would jump at your chance if he gives 5 points. I really would. Shea says, if we play with passion like this, we'll did against Man U, we'll be fine. Perez needs to work on his controls with the ball. That's Luke Gamer. Let's have a look. 3 points from the next 2 is fair. Not conceding many. Thoughts on El Mani? Great stream. Watch the whole thing. Thank you very much. Yeah, we had a bit of a hiccup at the beginning of the stream, as you all know. I will be editing that, of course. Thanks for explaining, Sky. Do you think Sunderland will go to League One? You know, I work with a couple of Mackhams, and I work with a Mackham Move as well. They're not very optimistic. They think that they're going down, and it doesn't look good for them. I thought that when Chris Coleman would come in, I generally thought that Sunderland would have a bounce. I generally thought that they'd have a bounce and go up the league. I thought they'd come mid-table, and I'm so wrong. And I'm not fussed about Sunderland. I know I don't really talk about Sunderland. It's extremely rare. I don't need to mention them. I don't see they don't exist for me only on a derby day. That's what I mean. People go on about talking about Sunderland, laugh at them. I don't care. People want to laugh at them, they can laugh at them. When they win, I don't care. They lose, I don't care. I know some people are like, ha, and they're very quiet when they win. But for me, if Sunderland go down, fair enough. You know, they should have copied Newcastle's model last year by, if they're going to sell the best players, buy championship players, high-end championship players, lower-end Premier League to get back up. You're not telling Sunderland had more money than Newcastle when we went down because the TV money went up as well. Right, okay, let's have a look. You're the loyalist football supporters. Let's have a look. Right, I'm going to be ringing Chris. You're next from Australia again. Chris has obviously been in about been on the channel a few times. He sent the vlogs over. G'day, mate, Chrissy. So we'll have a look at if I can get through Chris. I know, again, time difference. It's crazy because they win in advance. I think Chris is an hour behind Liam, who we've just spoken to as well. So let's see if I can get a hold of Chris. You're online as well. So well done, Chris. It looks like you're prepared. Let's give you a ring. Have a good banter with Chris as well. G'day, mate. Fuck, mate, it's a koala. How you doing, Harry?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's actually an hour. Liam's an hour in front of me, so it's an hour earlier here.
So it's now about, what time is it there? Is that 6:30, 7:30? 7:30. 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
Wow.
7:30.
What's the weather like? Because I know you always like to update me. What's the weather like over there?
A heat wave, mate. It's been about 40 degrees. Well, it's been mid-30s, but there's been a hell of a lot of humidity, so you can't cool down. So you've got to get in some aircon or whatever, but yeah, really, really hot. Just in the middle of a heat wave.
Send it our way.
I wish I could, mate, because yeah, it's just it's not manageable at all.
Oh, trust I would love it. Right. So I know you're obviously, are you getting up ready for work as well?
Oh, yeah, I've got some appointments later on, so I've got a few hours yet, so it's all good.
All right, so you've got plenty of time. You wanted to talk about the keepers, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, because I think it's an interesting move. Like, I was shocked when I saw Dubrovka come in on Sunday, and I guess Rafa's known for tinkering around and being a bit ruthless for the keepers. So, yeah, just to chat about that and where the other 2 guys fit into his plans as well. So, yeah, I think, I think this all started last season when he played Elliott in the last 3 games, last 3 games of the championship season. And I thought, geez, that's pretty harsh on Darlow. He's basically been his number 1 all year. And then he just dropped him and played Elliott for the last 3 games. He thought, well, obviously that's his plan for the next season to use Elliott. But I think he was injured, wasn't he? And then Darlow came in after that.
What do you make of our goalkeepers at the moment? Because we've got Freddie Woodman, who's just gone out on loan. For me, he has to be playing first team football next season. You've got Matt Sells, who's still on the book, who could potentially sit for another 3-year contract because he's still got another 3 years off the top of my head. I might be wrong on that. And then you've got Darlow's future's uncertain in the summer. You've got Elliott. You've got Dubravka that was signed in. We've got 5 goalkeepers there. 2 or 3 are going to have to go.
Yeah, for sure. So you just posted up that they've just signed Dubravka permanently, haven't they?
I didn't suppose that, unless someone else has. No, it was if it was on Twitter. If we signed Dubravka, we're going to pay another 1 million. Well, this is what the media reports are saying. Another 1 million if he plays another 7 games, and then I think it's another 3 or 4 million to sign him permanently.
Right. So if he gets a run, and I agree with you. Like, you've got to give him a run of games, one game. You can't sign him off one game. So give him a run of games. If he's the type of keeper, or does what we need to do, does the business, then maybe you've got to have a look at getting rid of Darlow, haven't you? Because 3 into 5 or 4 into 5 doesn't go. Plus for those long-term contracts, probably with Freddie Woodman and the other contracts, it doesn't work out. So if he works out, and he's obviously has a lot more skill, can distribute the ball better, and is better in the air, I'd look at getting rid of Darlow.
Yeah, it's harsh because he come in the new year and he was actually pretty decent. Stoke, he was world class when we were at that game as well. And I just think with Rafa, I mean, we'll talk about Dubravka in a minute, but I think Rafa just doesn't know who his best goalkeeper is. We've seen it several times in changes. And for me, he just doesn't know. And Freddie Woodman must be sitting there in the background thinking, when is my chance? When is my chance coming? Because we got his debut in the FA Cup. And he must be sitting and thinking, if I don't get first team football first, coming to this club, I'm going to have to leave eventually.
Yeah, exactly. I think he has to get a number 2 spot, you know what I mean, and get rotated in and out. That's where he needs to get to. And for that, look, I don't rate Matt Sells, and the problem is he's on a long-term contract, so you've got that problem there. Yeah, look, I just had some notes there. Remember, I did the Everton review video, and I was calling for to give Woodman a go after that Darlow performance when he obviously let some goals in. So, no, I think I rate him. I've seen him play, and I think he needs to get a run. But as it serves at the moment, you've got, is Elliott is he injured or is he back on track?
Well, he posted on Twitter before the Man United game that he was fully fit. So at the moment, in this situation, then he's currently sitting as 3rd choice at the moment.
Which is crazy, because that Premier League season he was our best player. And I think the question I have is, when you wrote, he said Rafa is not sure about his keepers. I'm just worried that a little bit of too much rotation, how that affects confidence, especially with goalkeepers. If I was Darlow, I would be like, oh shit, what have I done? I'm sitting here, maybe a few mistakes, but then you've got to give, Dubravka does some mistakes in 2 or 3 games, and Darlow's back in, and it doesn't create that solidity. The rotation does concern me.
Yeah, because you've got to have that settled back 5, so to speak, including the keeper, don't you?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
But from what we're seeing with Dubravka coming in his debut, I've seen him talking. I've seen it on the replays as well when I watched it back, and as well. So he's a talker, and he looks so much more comfortable on the feet as well. He looks like a ball-playing goalkeeper. Whether he's a better shot stopper than Elliott or Darlow, that remains to be seen. And we know they saved the Martial one-on-one chance and the header, which he scooped wide as well. But promising sign so far about his debut, isn't it?
No, for sure. And I've had internet problems, so I've just been able to sign in, so I'm going to watch the game so I can look at him a bit closer. But yeah, we need good distribution. You know what I mean? You can't have you've got Hostler. If you're going to play Hostler on top, you need good distribution. You've got to be able to, you can't have balls going out, down the sidelines, and then you've got to have a good decision maker. So, when to, kick it long, or when to, get it to the back 4. And I think that's your heart's in your mouth with Elliott and Darlow when they're under that sort of pressure. So, happy to give this guy a run and see what happens. I think some guys were talking about Soleimani and casting a bit of judgment on him. You can't judge any of these players without them having playing 4, 5, 6 games. You just can't do it.
Are you talking about Robert, who was on before?
Yeah, not dropping any names, but yeah.
Oh, he's got to be in the comments. He's going to be in that live chat right now, Robert. He'll be hammering it. So, you know, we've got like 5 goalkeepers there. It looks like from my end that Dubravka will now go on to be the number 1 for the remainder of the season. Do you go along with that?
Yeah.
Will he change it again?
I think he'll give him a run. I think he'll give him 3 or 4 games. But again, if errors come in, you can't. It's too squeaky bum time. You can't afford those things. Do you know what I mean? So I think Rafa is being more ruthless for the keepers than any other position. I think. So yeah, it could be another change. Elliott might come in. Do you know, I think Darlow might have run his time, and he's saying, "Well, look, you know, you've had your chances, you've made the mistakes, and then if Dubravka doesn't match up, then Elliott might come in."
Yeah, you're talking about just about the distribution before. When we say Darlow and Elliott, for me, the kicking isn't great. They don't get the ball out quick. You've had to hold on to it, then it's kicked long up into the air. It's so slow, Newcastle's build-up. And when we're playing in a particular way, having that keeper who could just chuck it and get it out of the halfway line, you know, it can set us up for attacks.
Yeah, especially now you've got good pace, Kennedy and Atsu, you know, you can just set them away and go. So it's the brain, isn't it? The goalkeeper has to have the brain for what's going on. You can't. I've seen Elliott and Darlow, especially Elliott when he was playing, he'd look up and then he'd sort of be blaming the back four, you know, what's going on, well, you know, his decision making is key in that, you know. The people in front of him need to get into position, but now we have the players, we need the distribution to them. So, yeah, hopefully this guy looks good, but again, you know, we won't know entirely until he's played 3 or 4 games, I think.
Right, let's put you on the spot then. So, come the end of the season, we've got 5 goalkeepers. Come the first game of the season, how many of them or who will be still at the club?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously he'll probably bring Matt Sells back because it was his signing. I think Freddie Woodward will be out on loan. So I think he'll keep maybe Dubravka, Darlow and Elliott will be the 3, depending on what goes on for the rest of the game. So if Elliott or Darlow come in and maybe they finish the season well, it all depends on the form at the end of the season and who's in between the goal. And at the moment, you can't say that. I wouldn't have a clue. So it's a lot of interesting things can happen. But hopefully, it's a Premier League decision and not a Championship decision.
Yeah. Final question before I let you head off. Who would you rate? Who's the best goalkeeper?
I think based on the games I've seen, Elliott is the better shot stopper. His distribution was good in that season we went down, but I just think because of injury, like he had that bad injury, I think confidence, and you can see in his face, he knows he's not up to standard, but I do think he's probably the best keeper out of the lot.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much, Chris, for coming on. Are you still doing that vlog for us?
No worries. Yeah, I'm going to watch the game now and do the video.
Yeah, you're so behind, man. Technology, man. Speed up, man.
No
well,
worries.
go enjoy your 40 degrees heat, you jammy sod.
All right, mate. Thanks a lot. I'll
Right.
talk to you soon.
I'll have to speak to you over Facebook's. Ta-da. Bye-bye. Right, that was Chris over WhatsApp. I've just got one more to get through, which is James as well. I'm just going to switch location, actually. And then we'll read your comments in the box. Comments in a second. Just move that around. Right. Okay. So I guess we'll see what has been seen in the comments. Let's just move that a little bit closer. Right, so how is it finding the stream? I know I've probably got a lot to learn on the stream as well, and we'll probably get a couple of people on the stream as well next time, maybe one of the presenters as well, instead of just myself as well. I don't have about 5 cats. There is just the 2 as well. It's just me and then actually the little one's not here. The other half's not here, so just me on my own. Right, okay, so let's have a look at what you are putting in your comments, and then we'll move on to a final guest as well. Before we get on to the final guest, so obviously the pilot, let us know what you think of the stream, how it's going. Obviously, there's no fancy graphics. I will possibly look at putting graphics on over the top and that for future streams, and then get you involved as well. Obviously, I'm still learning, as you've seen at the very start of this stream. But you know, I'm just learning. You know, I don't tend to do a lot of live videos, but we'll see how it goes. If he's like them, we'll do more, especially when it's dead and there's no Newcastle news as well. But the live quiz one, I'm really looking forward to that, so make sure you tune into that. You'll see a notification pop up if you are subscribed. But join in the fun, because we're going to be looking at the comments what your answers are as well, so we'll get a few guests on there as well. Right, okay then. So Darlow would distribute the ball so poorly, never reaching Hostel or target man. That was Scott Taylor. I mean, the distribution with Darlow isn't great, and Darlow has a few games where he looks absolutely unreal, and then we've seen it last season. He'll drop a clanger. We've seen it this season as well. We've seen the Everton game in particular. That was awful, that, you know. Right, okay, so let's have a look at count, because Sunderland fans are jealous. Right, okay. Shay says the keeper situation is great. We've got 3 great shot stoppers. Dubravka is the best. I think Rafa just wants a goalkeeper who can distribute the ball well and quickly. Yeah, because so for example, if a cross comes in and the keeper claims it, the first thing you do, get it out, get it to your halfway line, and then we're on the attack. You know, it'll probably be against, say if Dubravka claims it, he throws it out to, say, Atsu on the left. Atsu will probably only have about 1 or 2 people up against him at halfway. You know, get it out quicker for me, and also kicking as well, because our goalkeepers are not very great in the kicking situation as well. Manchester City are 4-0 up, Spurs 2-2. It sounds like I'm missing a frigging good game. Yeah, I've got it on record, like. So let's have a look what he's also do. I think we should go more away games yet, Liam. That should be as well, definitely. That was one of the aims on this channel, but I think the focus for me personally was covering the under-23s, and there will be an under-23 video the next 24 hours, because they've played 2 or 3 games since last reporting it as well. So the stream is going great. Thank you very much, Shay. Amazing idea on the stream. I personally love the fresh content, and this was an idea. I really like it. Yeah, well, we want to get you involved as well. As I'll still touch upon, I'm still a little bit raw, but I can talk for England. Talk to England. Talk to you about football for England. Sorry, I can't even get my words out. Right, okay. I'm going to a Legia Warsaw match in Poland on Friday. Wow, Jamie, message our Facebook page, because we can get some footage off you about that. That'd be really good. Right, okay. So you're good. You're good enough to do it on your own, Lee, mate, but get someone else on. Will get the Facebook admins. No disrespect, I think it's called. Rob's getting some hate. That'd be quite funny. Your cats are cute. I know it's like a frigging zoo, man. Honestly, is Geordie boy Rob? Do you think about Logan Paul, the YouTuber? I don't watch him. To be honest, I only watch footballers, YouTubers. So like, obviously, the Newcastle, you know, likes of Sharky, other Ball Street that we're part of as well. A couple of fan channels if we've got them coming up as well to see what they're saying. Don't watch massive amount of YouTube. Probably the biggest non-football YouTuber that I watch is a girl called Aziland. Oh, she's unreal. Check her out. Oh, unreal. Aziland. Oh man, she's absolutely beautiful. Right, so player of the season reform minus Lascelles, says Johnny. Yeah, I would agree as well. Yeah, he's been really consistent, hasn't he? He's only had 1 or 2 bad, not probably that, to be fair. I'm probably giving him injustice as well. I joined the stream in the middle of the call, mate. That's fine. You can obviously watch the rewind. Or this will probably take forever to process to YouTube, because it is a long stream and it's gone well over an hour and a half, I think. Do you watch any FIFA videos? Nah, it's not for me. I get bored watching them personally. Right, okay, so do you watch Binkley's content? He does the matchday vlogs, doesn't he? Yeah. Do you watch True Geordie? No, unfortunately not. Check out Fiona FC. Yeah, I've seen it. Fiona NUFC, isn't it? Yeah, she does a couple of vlogs, doesn't she? Right, James, you're up next, and then we will literally wrap up as well. James has obviously been on fan cams as well. He's the one who hates Aston Villa. He wants to talk about the Man United result as well. So, James, if you buy your phone, or your mum's phone, I think I'm ringing. I can't remember which one I'm ringing, but I'm ringing you anyways. So let's get this up. Right. No, I don't want to ring you again. Oh man, why have I gone all the way down there? Bloody Z, right. Right, James, I am ringing you now, mate. Hello?
Hello.
Hiya, James, how you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad. You're the last one on the night, so sorry I've kept you waiting. I didn't expect the stream to go on this long.
It's okay.
Yeah, everyone's chatting away. Right. You want to talk about the Man United result, don't you, on the weekend?
Yeah, obviously we want to talk about it because obviously I didn't get to the game and it's just typical the one game I go to where Newcastle put in a great performance.
Oh, lucky. You missed a treat. Like, it's honestly, you remember the atmosphere at Leicester City where it was electric?
Yeah.
It was, think of it like that, but without the flags being waved before the match. It was just mint, the atmosphere at the Man U. You missed it, man. I was looking for you because obviously I don't sit a million miles away from you as well, so I'm only just round the corner from you and I couldn't see you either. Like,
Yeah, because I was away in Holland on a football tour,
so have you watched it back?
yeah, today I arrived back today and I watched the highlights from Match of the Day. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, what did you think of the performance then?
Yeah, from what I've heard of it, Chelsea beyond it, outstanding. And I also want to touch on the two centre backs.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think Sells and Machine together is the way forward for them for the rest of the season.
What, not Clark?
No, not Clark for me. I think he's definitely got a mistake in him. Like once somebody said that was on before me, he's definitely got a mistake in him. And Machine now just, from what I've seen of him, I've always like, yes, he's done a couple of things wrong, but I just feel something about him where the Sells and him, they just look really good together, better than him and Clark. Kind of, him and Clark did amazing in the Championship last season.
Yeah.
But it's just that they look really solid together, and I was really impressed with them on Sunday.
Okay. What do you make of Dubravka?
Yeah, really impressive. Coming for crosses, decent shot stopper. I think his performance on Sunday can maybe tell why Rafa's wanted the keeper that you can trust all along. Because with Dolo and Elliot, like you said, their kicking's a bit, kicking's very suspect, and they're very reluctant to come out their boxes a lot as well, and distribution too.
What do you make of Man United on Sunday?
I think they were very poor, maybe because probably down to us, because obviously Chelsea had Pogba in his pocket, Dion had Matic in his pocket, Everton had Sanchez in his pocket, the Cells had Lukaku in his pocket. But yeah, I just think, obviously because Mourinho's never won at St James's Park, and there's something about the stadium that he just doesn't like. But I was always confident before the game. I even said to somebody, I think we're going to win 2-1. I just had a feeling Rafa had something up his sleeve.
Yeah, it was absolutely, it was unreal as well. You mentioned obviously Mourinho. That's now 7 league games without a win. I don't know what it is about St James's Park, but it's not doing it. Now, just before that game, we just dropped into that relegation zone because of the Huddersfield result. And now that win has jumped us. This is how tight the league is. It's jumped up to 13th, which is mad. And then obviously we've got a bit of a gap. Do you think the break has come at the right time or the wrong time?
To be honest, I don't think it matters too much, to be honest, because then again, if there wasn't a break, an FA Cup break, had a game this weekend, I think the confidence would be high for just beating Man United. But then on the other hand, because there is a break, we can now prepare for the next 2 weeks. Rafa can get us back on the training ground and we can go again. So I don't think it's coming at a good or a bad time. I think it's fine.
Are you confident that will stay up?
100%.
100% because of Rafa or the team or mixture? What?
Rafa, 100% Rafa. I think expect he's getting that extra 50-60% out of the team. I doubt any manager in world football, except maybe somebody like Guardiola, would keep Newcastle up at the minute. I think any other manager, Pardew, an English manager, would be down at the bottom there, about where West Brom are at the minute, I'd say, probably.
Yeah, it might even be worse, mightn't it?
Yeah.
No.
My worry with Rafa is in the summer, if the takeover doesn't go ahead, and if the takeover doesn't happen, I think he'll walk, I think.
Do you really think he'll go?
Yeah, he'll go. Why would you want to hang around again with going into the second season in the Premier League, being given no money, and he's still got a championship squad?
It's interesting. It's really, it's a difficult one this summer because we've got so many things that potentially might happen, might not happen. You've got the takeover. You've got Rafa's only got 12 months left on his contract. We've got Premier League money, which will come in as well. So there's three big, massive factors there as well. Now, no one's touched upon during this an hour and a half stream, nearly 2 hours, about Paul Dummett. That's a thing, isn't it? I mean, for me, Paul Dummett, since he's come in, and don't get me wrong, I've been a critic of his massively in the past as well. But Paul Dummett, by God, he hasn't put a foot wrong, literally, has he?
No, exactly. I think does he get criticised unfairly by Newcastle fans? Sometimes maybe he's picked on, but I can see why people criticise him because again he does have the stake in him, like Clark. But when he's come back into the team since he came back from an injury, he hasn't looked back and he's been brilliant for us. And he's definitely our first choice left back for this. It depends with the takeover, obviously, whether we need to strengthen that tradition in the summer, maybe, because obviously we're going to have Haidar heading out the door, Gamet heading out the door, and I think Mankio's suspect. So I think you've definitely got to keep him in the team for the minute and he's been actually brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
Do you know who I want to? Well, I don't really want to come up, but I'd like to just to see a reaction. I'd love to see Aston Villa come back up because you know why. You hate Aston Villa. You've got that reputation now of hating Aston Villa. It's funny, like it's just really funny. When do I go on?
I don't actually like full on hate them. I was just a little bit like, you know,
pissed off. Because they think they're a bigger club.
Yeah, which I don't. Yes, they won the European Cup, but also haven't won the European Cup, so that will make them bigger than Arsenal. They're nowhere near bigger than Arsenal. In my opinion, they're not bigger than us either. So I just think that was just getting angry their fans that they're a big club than they think they are. But yeah, they're around about playoffs in the Championship, but at the minute while we're in the Championship, I'm not really going to care. I don't really care.
All right then, I guess I'll see you. Are you at the next home game?
Yeah, Southampton. I'm at all the home games.
Right. I shall catch you at Southampton. I'll probably be in touch over social media with you. Thanks, James, for coming on. I'll let you go.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Enjoy your night. Bye bye. Right, that was James, who is one of the fan cams. So that's all the guests, as you know, the night, apart of being our friends of the channels, have all come on as well. So appreciate you all coming on as well, taking your time out. I know it's only been 5 to 10 minutes of your time as well. In particular, the two Australians. Crazy times for them. They're like sharp in the morning. We'll have a look at your comments before we head off, and then we're gonna relax. So, right, let's have a look. Yes, my cat and I. This one wants all the attention in the world. She's like a baby. She sits on you and all sorts. And when people come, she sits on them and asks. So just getting the affection. The other one behind us is not bothered. And it's right. Let's have a look. Right. Lee, do you follow Money Mike Ashley on Twitter? He's funny as us. Guy behind the parody page. No, I might check it out actually. But there's a few of us who run Twitter now. I didn't notice the cat in the background. Oh, this one. No, she's in a huff. She's in a right huff. Wouldn't mind seeing the Leeds back in the Premier League. Yeah, they've got a big following, haven't they? I mean, when they came at St James's Park, they sold out, didn't they? And I think that was a Monday night, wasn't it? I think it was at the top of your head. I like James, says Shay. Yeah. Who do you think we need next season? Underneath Flames put Villa. Right, that's quite funny. Favourite player ever? Bloody hell. You've got to say Shearer, surely. Because I grew up with Shearer. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, I had to think for Lamar and quite a bit because I've been to his house and all that. So, aye. Right, okay, let's have a look at your comments. Left back, possibly striker. Yeah. All my comments have gone. Great. They've loaded back up. Here we go. I've donated money. I'm not sure what you mean. Right. I didn't notice the cat in the background. We need Leeds, Forest, Villa, and Sunderland back, whether you like them or not. Yeah, because they're traditionally big clubs in the past, aren't they? What else we've got? Dummett is a god. I love Paul Dummett. I was disappointed we didn't sing about Frankie Sherwood because Frankie's parents were looking forward to the fans singing. So I didn't know if that went on or not because when I didn't really hear it and we were meant to sing in the fourth minute and we posted out on our Twitter and our Facebook as well. It may have been sung in some sections, who knows, but personally for me, I didn't hear it, which is a real shame. And we're looking to do a charity event and we'll probably pick Frankie Sherwood's charity trust because we're maybe looking to go on a bike all the way across the northeast clubs stadiums, so like Middlesbrough, Darlington, Hartlepool, Sunderland, and then the Tune. And so it's like a 35-mile bike ride. So maybe looking at that, and we might donate in something like that. Right, let's have a look. James Encore from Birmingham. He's not from Birmingham. Right, okay. So what's the future for Mo Diame? Interesting, because if he stays like that, if he goes on like that for the rest of the season, fantastic, you know. Great stream league, good. Gonna have to keep it up. Thanks, Scott. Thank you very much. Do you think Kennedy's good for us? Yeah, he started off really well. I think his form dipped last game against Man United, but he's still decent enough, you know. How many more games do Newcastle need? How many more games do Newcastle need to guarantee safety? Points wise, I think 35-36 might keep you up because of our goal difference. I generally think. Bye, Lee. See you later. What was your first game you went to, Lee? I think it was when we were playing the Inter-Total Cup. In between, it was definitely a Bobby Robson game. That was my first ever game. Might have been one of the Inter-Total Cup games. I think it might have been Trois. What do you think about teams like Bournemouth in the Premier League? Good. Smaller teams getting bigger money, you know. They're going out and spending 20 million on Nathan Ake. 3 years ago, that would have been a dream for them. Well, he has a Brum accent. He doesn't have a Brum accent, Jody. He doesn't. He's actually from Gosforth, I think James is from. James, jump on the comments box and tell him. Do a meet up before Southampton game. Yeah. Right, okay. So that's it. That has been the stream. Thank you very much for everybody who took part. Thank you for obviously watching. I know it's been long. I wanted this to be an hour and it's gone like an hour and 40, an hour and 50, whatever it is. It'll take forever to process to YouTube. So if you are watching this rerun on it when it processes to YouTube, you've done well. Thanks for obviously staying with us this late as well. But that's it. Thanks for the guests. Thanks for obviously your comments as well. And if you are watching the rerun, comments down there below as well. And I am still learning. It's a pilot show and we'll get some fancy graphic maybe put on next time. Get yous involved as well. We'll maybe look at that in the next break in between games as well. But thanks for watching and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.